Hello everyone. Today, we'll be seeing how fast Clawitzer can beat Pokemon X in a solo run challenge. Let's get straight into the video. In the previous X and Y video earlier in the week, we played through Pokemon X with Dragalge, and that thing definitely had its own share of problems, but I'm really looking forward to Clawitzer, especially because of its moveset and stats. Let's look at the stats first. We have 71 HP, 73 attack, 88 defense, 120 special attack, which is our best stat, 89 special defense, and 59 speed. Not really the best speed, but it'll do. And we're also in the slow level up group, which is one disadvantage compared to Dragalge, which was in the medium fast group. And if we take a look at our starting moveset, we start with Water Gun, Splash, Aura Sphere, and Dragon Pulse. Aura Sphere and Dragon Pulse at level 1 is insane. We don't get Heal Pulse or Dark Pulse because we only get 4 moves at level 5, so those 2 moves were overridden for Water Gun and Splash, unfortunately. And then throughout the rest of the levels we get Water Sport, which is useless, Vice Grip, Bubble, Flail, Bubble Beam, Swords Dance, Crab Hammer, Water Pulse, Smackdown, Aqua Jet, Muddy Water, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Aura Sphere, just if we want them again. But we could probably just use the move relearner in Dendamil Town if we needed to. And it's kind of funny how we start with Water Gun and then Bubble at level 12. This kind of reminds me of a Gen 1 moveset. It's kind of funny. And if we look at the TMs, we get a little bit of coverage, but not too much. We get Ice Beam and Smackdown for Ice and Rock coverage, and then Shadow Ball for Ghost moves, and then we can get Sludge Bomb, as well as Focus Miss, and then we get Swords Dance by TM again, and then Rock Slide, U-Turn, Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, Surf, and Waterfall. So a decent amount of coverage we can choose from. But the main thing I'm really looking forward to with this Pokemon is its ability, Mega Launcher. This is an ability exclusive to the Clawitzer line and Mega Blastoise. What this does is all moves with Aura and Pulse in the name will actually do 50% more damage, and Heal Pulse will heal 50% more to be 75%, but we're not really going to use this in double battles or anything like that, so it's just going to be useless. So the moves that'll get boosted are Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Origin Pulse, which is a Kyogre exclusive move and is not going to be really useful, Terrain Pulse, which doesn't exist, Water Pulse, and then Heal Pulse. So yeah, a lot of the moves we learn will get that 50% boost. So for example, with Water Pulse, it's 60 power, with the same type attack bonus it's 90, and with Mega Launcher, that's an effective power of 135, and that's only if the opponent is neutral. So yeah, this is going to be an awesome ability to work with, so why don't we continue with the run and see how this goes. The early game pretty much goes the same way it goes for most Pokemon in these X and Y solo runs. I just catch my HM users, go through the forest, and then I enter Santaloon City and go take on the first gym leader, Viola. Let's go do this. I didn't really do too much optional training, but I'm sure we'll be okay. Viola leads off with Surskit, and my Clawitzer is only level 9. I go ahead and use Dragon Pulse. Even though it gets the boost from Mega Launcher, it still doesn't one-shot it because of my low level. I don't even get to level 10 when I defeat it, and it looks like Dragon Pulse is going to be a 3-hit on the Vivian. Fortunately it is, and it's a good thing she didn't really get any crits on me or anything. And then after the Vivian, I go from level 9 straight to level 11. So yeah, that's not something you really see that often, but hey, at least we finally beat Viola. I fight a lot of optional trainers throughout the next several routes because the next few gym leaders are going to be sort of scary. Not really Grant, but Karina, Ramos, and Clement are going to give us a lot of problems if we don't prepare. Because Karina, her Pokemon have actually very good special defense, and all of my moves that I'm going to be using are special moves, so she's going to be surviving a lot of hits. Ramos, I really don't think I need to explain why that's hard. He's the grass type leader. And same thing for Clement, he uses electric types, so I want to make sure I'm prepared. After I defeat Professor Sycamore, I go in this building across from the Scatterbug Cafe and get myself the Quick Claw. With how low our speed is, we're definitely going to need it. And then I head my way straight to the Parfum Palace, get myself the Amulet Coin to help farm money for vitamins, and then I rescue the Furfrou and get the Pokeflute. Yeah, I'm definitely rushing through this section of the game because the whole area of this game, there's not really many eventful things. There's a huge gap from Gym 1 to Gym 2, so I'm just trying to get it out of the way. And with the Pokeflute obtained, I can get the Snorlax out of the way and make my way to Ambrit Town. I go ahead and clear out the Glittering Cave without many issues, and then I can head on down to this beach right here and get myself a rare candy, the first of many rare candies I'll need to get. And also, right behind the Ambrit Pokemon Center, I can actually go on this narrow path to get myself a Heart Scale. I don't really know if I need to use this to get Dark Pulse, but I pretty much got it just in case I needed to. And then I can defeat the trainers on this beach. A lot of them give decent XP yields. And then I can head into Solage City. When I enter Solage City, I go straight inside Grant's gym, and then I'm going to go take on the second gym leader. Let's do this. Grant leads off with his Amora. I'm only level 23, and I have Bubble Beam fortunately, but it's not compatible with Mega Launcher unfortunately. But that's fine. Amora goes down pretty easily, and then the Tyrant can go down to a single Dragon Pulse, so yeah, very easy Rock-type gym, which is kind of surprising because normally the Rock-type gym is one of the hardest gyms in Kalos, but we're obviously using a Water-type, so that was never going to be the case. We need to be more worried though about Ramos and Clement. Mainly Clement. Oh boy. But we don't have to worry about that right now though. We still got a decent amount of the game ahead of us. I head my way north to Geosench Town, defeat Karina and her 2 Lucario, and then head inside the Reflection Cave. I do want to mention this one trainer in here with the throw and the sock. I mentioned how I had resets to this person with Dragalge, and I wouldn't be myself if I told you I also got some resets on her as well with Clawitzer. I really need to just stop fighting her. She is one of the hardest regular trainers in the whole game that's optional. Like, I mean, normally it's very good experience to fight a throw and a sock, but those things are just difficult, like, especially if you're using special moves. But I go ahead and just skip her after 2 resets and just continue my way through the cave and get to Shalur City. And then inside the Tower of Mastery, I have to take on my rival for the first time. He is actually pretty difficult here. His Meowstic does have Light Screen, which is not good, but fortunately he has Breaks In, which I have a type advantage over, and his final third Absol doesn't really provide any problems. So it's a good thing I have no resets still at that, but I may end up getting some resets at Karina. So let's go ahead and see how Karina fares against Clawitzer. Karina leads off with Mienfoo. I go ahead and use Dragon Pulse, and it unfortunately lives at 1 HP, and the next one knocks it out. That's good. Alright, I level up to level 32. Next up is the Holucha. I go ahead and use Dragon Pulse, it does half, and then 2 Flying Presses really hurts. Then on the Machoke, I go ahead and use Dragon Pulse, and then the Machoke tries to use Rock Tomb on me, and it missed, allowing me to win. Man, that was really lucky. I'm glad I went through it though, because that could have been really bad. Now I can head to the top of the Tower of Mastery, get my free Lucario, and make my way to Coramine City. The grass type gym is here, so I need to be very careful about how I approach this gym. Fortunately, I did pick up the leftovers and the route just before entering this city, so I can go ahead and have them equipped for the gym battle. But right now, I need to actually defeat the rival in front of the gym, and this Meowstic is just going to be a huge nerf to any special attackers I run with just because of that freaking Light Screen. But fortunately, as soon as I defeat it, I get the chance to learn Water Pulse. Now I can get a much better move. Then I can one-shot the Absol with Aura Sphere, and then Water Pulse the Breaks In into Oblivion. Alright, even though we can't get access to Ice Beam right now because the TM for Ice Beam is given after the 8th gym, and for some reason this thing can't learn the Blizzard TM, I don't know why. But let's go ahead and take on Ramos. Let's do this. Actually, before I fade into Ramos, I just wanted to let y'all see this. On this one trainer in the gym with Gloom and Exeggutor, the Gloom I cannot one-shot, and she always ends up getting off a Stun Spore, and it allows the Executor to be pretty scary. It hits me with confusion, not doing too much, but the main thing that's scary is just the ability of me not being able to move. Fortunately, he did miss an egg bomb, then hit me with confusion doing decent damage, but fortunately, after only one reset, I am able to defeat this person. Okay, now let's go to Ramos. Ramos leads off with Jump Pluff. I go ahead and use one Dragon Pulse, and it's going to be a 2-shot because Jump Pluff's special defense is really good. Fortunately, after 2 attacks, I'm still above half, and I continually heal with the leftovers. Weepinbell gets 1 shot by Dragon Pulse. Then on his Ace Go-Goat, it looks like it's going to be a 2-shot. It does hit me, my speed gets lower, but that doesn't matter. Ramos is defeated. Huh, I guess he was easier than I thought. I actually expected him to provide a fight. But Clement is going to be a challenge, we all know it. I clear out Team Flare inside of the power plant, and then I can go ahead and smash this boulder and get myself a rare candy, and then I can head my way into Lumio City. We're just going to go head straight into the 5th gym. We're pretty much as prepared as we're going to be. Clement leads off with Emolga. I go ahead and use Water Pulse, and then it hit me with Volt Switch before I can even attack it because it outspeeds, and then the Magneton just tanks my Water Pulse. I do have the Quick Claw equipped for this fight instead of the leftovers because of the fact that Heliolisk and Emolga outspeed. I was going to use Water Pulse on that thing, but then I remembered the Heliolisk has dry skin, so I actually do not want to use Water Pulse. On the next attempt, it actually starts off in a similar way. The Emolga hits me with Volt Switch, I attack into the Magneton, and then on the Heliolisk, it attacks me, and I survive at 2 HP, which really surprised me. I'm able to defeat it, but then the Emolga comes out and destroys me. Yeah, I'm gonna need some decent luck with Quick Claws on this one. It takes me until 7 resets into the run, but I am able to get the Quick Claw luck I need, and Clement is defeated. Alright, we are now at 5 gym badges at only an hour and 11 minutes. Not the best pace ever, but it's definitely a good pace. So now we have to go ahead and make our way to Laver City, but first there's the rival battle just outside Lumio City. This rival battle provided a lot of issues for Dragalge because of its poison typing against Delphox, but fortunately we're not going to have that issue today. And with the rival decimated, I can make my way to Laver City and go buy some vitamins inside the Pokemon Center, and we're going to be buying a ton. And today's vitamin of the day is as follows: 2 Carbos, 6 Calcium, and 5 Zinc. The reason I got 2 Carbos is because usually at this point in the game in X and Y solo runs, you're almost maxed out in speed EVs, so you can only really afford 1 or 2 Carbos, and we need all the speed we can get. Plus Calcium for obvious reasons. We need as much special attack as possible. Which is kind of funny because this thing literally has Sword Stance and we're using special moves. And the Zinc is just, I couldn't really think of a vitamin to buy. I figured the extra special defense would be worth it, especially for any oncoming electric or grass type teams. But the next team we're facing is not any of those types. It is the fairy typing. So let's go ahead and take on Valerie. She leads off with her pathetic Mawile. Water Pulse will 1-shot it. Then on the Mr. Mime, Water Pulse is going to 2-shot, but then the Mr. Mime ends up setting up a light screen, which is not good, and now it's going to be up for the Sylveon. Sylveon's special defense is really good, and Dazzling Gleam is doing really decent damage, but Water Pulse actually got the confusion, and the Sylveon was actually hitting itself, preventing it from using Dazzling Gleam on me. And then, once the light screen wears off, Sylveon goes down, and I have my 6th gym badge. I make my way through Route 14, get my way to Dendemil Town. I don't use the move relearner just yet, but I do have the heart scale in case I need Dark Pulse or something. And then I clear out Team Flare at the back of Frost Cavern. Fortunately, I don't have any blackouts, unlike with what happened in previous runs. And then I can put Dendemil Town behind me, go through Mamoswine Road, get this rare candy, and now I am in Anastar City. The Psychic Gym Leader here doesn't really tend to be a pushover that often. I mean, more often than not, the rival in front of the gym is actually more challenging. The rival fights have been challenging through pretty much the entire playthrough at this point. So I guess we'll go ahead and see how it goes. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what the deal is at this point for the Meowstic. I just need to wait for the light screen to go away. Then on the Jolteon, even though it outspeeds and it's an electric type, he uses double kick for some reason. Does he even have an electric move? I mean, surely he does, right? But then on the Delphox, I go ahead and use Water Pulse, but it outspeeds and Psychic knocks me out. Yep, I had a feeling I'd get a reset here. On the next attempt, I actually survive a Psychic, but in retaliation, the Delphox actually survives a Water Pulse. Dude, come on. On the third attempt, I do equip a Quick Claw, hoping that I may need to get one on the Delphox, but then the Jolteon just defeats me anyway. I really hate the rival in this game. But then on the fourth attempt at this rival, I am able to defeat his whole team. And now we need to take on the Psychic Gym Leader, Olympia. I do end up with a reset or two on her gym trainers, but I do get to Olympia in one piece at least. She leads off with her Sigilyph, and right now I have the move Aqua Jet because I'm going to need to move first against some opponents coming up, especially the more terrifying ones. But then I realized at this moment I actually kinda screwed up. What I was supposed to do was actually go to Dendemil Town and use a Heart Scale to remember Dark Pulse, because Dark Pulse is what I need to use for this fight. Right now you can just see me spamming Dragon Pulse on the Sigilyph, not really going anywhere, and then the Slow King is able to knock me out. Before going back, I do go to the move relearner in Dendemil Town, and I do relearn Dark Pulse, so I will have this for the Olympia battle. And as soon as I come back with Dark Pulse, look how much of a difference this fight is. I can go ahead and use one Dark Pulse on the Sigilyph, it does half, but you gotta remember, it outsped and used Light Screen. So if the light screen wasn't up, I would have one-shot it. So now I just have to keep spamming it on our whole team. The light screen ends up wearing out on the Slow King, and I'm actually able to two-shot because of it. Then on the Meowstic, Dark Pulse is going to have to be a two-shot either way, but that's fine. I just get Olympia stuck in a heal loop, and then once the Meowstic is down, I get my 7th gym badge. However though, before we can get the 8th gym badge, we have to do the whole Team Flare side quest. We have to go to the Lumio City Lysander Cafe, clear out that hideout, and then make our way to Geosench Town and clear out that hideout. I'm hoping to just skip through most of it, but I'll highlight any important things, such as the very first Lysander battle in Lumio City. He leads off with a Mienfoo, and I send out the Clawitzer. It's currently at level 48, and I'm only at half HP right now. And I do have Surf on my moveset. This was honestly a mistake. I should have gotten another Heart Scale to relearn Water Pulse. And then on the Gyarados, I realized I don't have Hidden Power Electric on my moveset. The reason I got Hidden Power Electric was specifically for the Gyarados, as well as Cybold in the Elite Four. So I go ahead and teach Hidden Power and try the fight again. Sadly though, even though Gyarados is 4 times weak to Electric, Hidden Power only does half to it. And then I have to defeat the Murkrow and then the Pyroar at low health, but I couldn't even beat the Pyroar. It actually just knocks me out. So I get another loss. I'm already at 15 resets so far. This is insane. After a couple more attempts though, I am able to defeat Lysander here. Hopefully there's no other major events. And there is. At the very end of the Lysander Cafe section of the Team Flare side quest, I have to fight Zurasic. At least I think that's how you say his name. His Crobat ends up poisoning me with Cross Poison, and then on his Malamar, I end up dying to poison, so I have to fight the guy all over again, which is really annoying, but at least I've been remembering to save frequently. Like, imagine if I hadn't saved since Olympia. Oh my god, I probably would have hit something, but fortunately, I didn't need to do that. I'm able to one-shot the Mienshao, the Pyroar, and then on the Honchkrow, hopefully Aura Sphere one-shots. It doesn't, and it lives at 1 HP, but fortunately he didn't heal. Then on the Gyarados, I continue spamming Aura Sphere, because as soon as he Mega Evolves, he gets the Dark typing and becomes weak to fighting. It does take 2 hits however, but the Gyarados is not able to knock me out. So now the whole Team Flare section is finished. Finally. I defeat Professor Sycamore with his 3 starters, and then right after him, I have to defeat the 3 rivals on the bridge. I'm hoping none of them cause any problems, because when you have to fight 2 of them in a row without healing, and then you have to fight Trevor at the very end, there are bound to be issues that come up. Shauna, fortunately, doesn't provide any problems, but I am very worried about Tierno because his Roserade does have Petal Dance, and I'm really worried he's going to outspeed me. But first he has his Talonflame. I go ahead and use Surf, and Acrobatics fortunately didn't do that much. Then on the Roserade, I switch on over to Dragon Pulse. It lives in yellow health, and then Petal Dance knocks me out. Yep, I figured. On the second try back at Tierno, I now have the leftovers equipped, as well as 1 rare candy used to get to level 64. However though, it didn't even really matter. The Petal Dance still one-shot me. I continue to get reset after reset, and then 27 resets in, I am able to defeat Tierno, and now for Trevor. I go ahead and use Dragon Pulse on the Raichu. It lives in red health, hits me with Nuzzle, and paralyzes me. Yeah, I can already see this is doomed from the very start. And then when I get defeated, I decide to actually black out and see if it'll let me continue at the Trevor fight. And it doesn't, I have to go back to Shauna. Well, at least I get to keep the experience. As soon as I get back to Trevor though, I am able to knock out his team, and the rival gauntlet is finished. Okay, this is really getting really difficult. Why don't we just go finish this off and go defeat Wulfric? Let's do this. Wulfric leads off with his Abomasnow. I go ahead and use Aura Sphere for the one-shot because it's weak to fighting. Then on the Avalugg, I continue using Aura Sphere. It is also a one-shot, but what about the Cryogonal with its extremely high special defense? It also is a one-shot. Nice, complete one-shot sweep. Nice little break from how the last several splits went. And now, as I'm going through Victory Road, I realized I never talked about my nature. A bit late for this, but I may as well. Timid is plus speed minus attack. The thing is, in X and Y, there are so many very fast Pokemon. For example, the final rival battle in Victory Road, if you're playing as the female character and Calem's the rival, his Jolteon has 180 speed. This doesn't apply to Serena though, because Serena's Jolteon, if you picked the grass starter, which Clawitzer replaced, that Jolteon does not have a plus speed nature. Calem's does. So that's why specifically Calem's Jolteon's really bad. And then the fastest Pokemon in the game is Malva's Talonflame at 183 speed. So I need all the speed I can. And even with the nature, at level 67, I'm only at around 140 speed. So yeah, it's really bad. If you guys want some actual good news though, I actually do not get a reset on the final rival battle in Victory Road, but I do get a reset on one of the final Victory Road trainers, the one guy with the Snorlax. But fortunately, I'm able to get past it and then enter the Pokemon League. I heal at the center, buy some full restores, and now we need to go take on the final 5 trainers. Let's do this shit and finally end this forsaken run. I'm sure this makes sense, but the first member I'm fighting is Malva. Her whole team is weak to water. She's going to be a complete one-shot sweep. I one-shot the Pyroar, the Talonflame, the Torkoal, and the Chandelure. Alright, next up is the Dragon-type Elite Four member, Drosna. I fortunately do not need to teach Ice Beam for this fight because Dragon Pulse is going to completely obliterate her team. It one-shots her Dragalge, Altaria, Noivern, and Druddigon. Alright, we're still doing great. Next up is the Water-type Elite Four member, Cybold. It's now Clawitzer versus Clawitzer. I use Hidden Power Electric to deal half, his own Clawitzer doesn't do much to me, and then I can move on to his Gyarados. I go ahead and use Hidden Power, it actually one-shots unlike Lysander's. Then on the Barbaracle, I go ahead and use Hidden Power Electric again. It hits me for very good damage, but 2 Hidden Powers is enough to knock it out. Then on the Starmie, I switch over to Dark Pulse, and it did set up Light Screen because it outsped, and that was the only way it was able to live that. But I have Cybolt stuck in a heal loop, I get to 35 HP left, and I am able to defeat Cybolt. Now for the Steel-type Elite Four member, Wikstrom. I'm really hoping his Klefki isn't going to be a troll and just use Torment turn 1. It actually does. Alright, so I one-shot it with Surf, and now I need to alternate my moves. So I use Dragon Pulse on the Probopass and then switch over to Surf, but I end up getting paralyzed because of Discharge, and because of that, I get my very first reset in the league. Alright, I didn't expect a reset in the league because I'm pretty overleveled at this point, but you can't really beat paralysis sometimes. It used Torment on me again, but I don't get paralyzed from Discharge, and I'm able to defeat his Probopass and his Aegislash, but then guess what happened? On his Scizor, it lives a Surf, and it knocks me out from red health, giving me another loss to this guy. You know, all I really hope for in this video is, hopefully I can convince some of you that just because X and Y is very, very easy when you play with a team of 6, it does not mean the solo runs are easy. Solo runs are honestly very, very hard in X and Y. One of the hardest games I play is X and Y, and that may be hard to believe, but hopefully after watching Clawitzer and hopefully Dragalge from earlier in the week, I hope some of you can understand that. But in that explanation, Wikstrom is defeated, and now we need to defeat Diantha. Alright, we're nearly there, I can just feel it. Funny enough, I went with a special set almost the entire game, and now for Diantha, I'm going with a physical set. I now have Swords Dance, Return, and Waterfall. I go ahead and use 3 Swords Dances on the Hawlucha, and then it hits me with Flying Press for massive damage because that thing has its own Swords Dance. But I live, I'm able to shrug it off and one-shot the Hawlucha, the Aurorus, and then on the Gourgeist, I'm going to have to 2-shot it with Waterfall, because when I taught Surf earlier, I never went to the move deleter to get rid of it, so I'm actually kind of stuck with it. On the second battle against Diantha, I have the leftovers hoping I can heal up enough HP to survive a Seed Bomb from that thing, but no, it knocks me out again. On the third attempt, I actually decided to only use 1 Swords Dance and see if that was enough. With 1 Swords Dance, I one-shot the Hawlucha, the Aurorus, and then Gourgeist is going to be a 3-shot. But fortunately at this high of a level, it's not going to prioritize Seed Bomb, plus Waterfall even got a lucky flinch. Then on the Tyrantrum, I go ahead and use 1 more Swords Dance to guarantee the 1-shot with Waterfall, and it actually did not guarantee the 1-shot. I really should have used another one, but dude, this Pokemon sucks. Both Dragalge and Clawitzer suck so bad. I don't know why I expected better, but I really hate this thing. It takes me until 37 resets into the run. I decided to teach Ice Beam in the place of Return in order to help with the Gourgeist, and that is the solution because Clawitzer defeats the Mega Gardevoir and clocks in with a time of 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 46 seconds, with 37 resets at level 74, with a game time after the credits of 7 hours and 12 minutes. You know, when I started doing Pokemon X and Y videos this year, my first 2 videos were Xerneas and Yveltal, and both of those Pokemon were very easy to play with, and I was under the impression that X and Y solo runs were going to be easy. But as soon as I did Dragalge and Clawitzer, that definitely went out the window. Look at the leaderboard. Both of these Pokemon have 37 resets, they're at least level 74, and their game times are roughly similar. But you know what's funny? Clawitzer is actually faster despite the slow level up group. I think if both of these Pokemon were replayed, I still believe Clawitzer would be faster just because of the starting moveset being way better. But my moveset management was definitely really bad. I should really think of re-ranking it at some point, but I don't have any plans for it. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and be sure to follow me on my socials or support me through YouTube memberships. YouTube members get access to these videos a week or two early, and the patch files for all the backports we do on streams. Next week, we're going to be going back into the past into Pokemon Red version. We're going to be playing the games with Rhydon and Golem. Those Pokemon will definitely surprise you. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.